hustle season. It's a period. And then, what do you do after that? Like, how do you hustle once you don't have to hustle anymore? That's like the next question, right? It's like,
I know, yeah, man. We
uh,
we spend all of our time hustling, and then when we get what we want, we're like, now what, right?
yeah, then you're like, I don't know. You got to be careful because you can just sit and spin your wheels for no reason. And it's funny. Yeah, you got to take a couple steps back. So that's actually what I've been working on. It's like, all right, what's next? What am I gonna do? How's it gonna work better? How am I gonna do more with less?
There you
Uh,
go. I I appreciate you getting on here with me, man. We're already recording, so if it's all good, we'll just go ahead and get started.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Awesome. Yeah, well, thanks again for coming on here, and just, I know who you are and but just for those who may not know, just give yourself an introduction.
Absolutely, yeah. So, first, I'm a husband, father of four. I'm a real estate investor in the Madison, Wisconsin area. And then, my other hat I wear is I'm the owner of US Lead List. And so what we do is provide, like basically we line up when someone passes away and someone owns real estate. We build a national list and, kind of push that to our customers every month, like on a subscription basis.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely a US Leads List user. I didn't know that about you though. I didn't know that you have a pretty big family, man. So between having four kids, being a husband, having a real estate business, and doing US Leads List, like if you don't mind, like how are you balancing all of this on a day to day?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a lot, right? When I spit it all out like that. But the difference is, you carrying everything by yourself versus surrounding yourself by good people who can
Yeah.
carry things without you having to, hound them, watch them like a hawk. You got to watch still, but yeah, I just have a good team that does most of the heavy lifting, and I'm just steering the ship.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, man. Did you start off with a team or did you start off on your own?
So, I'm assuming you're asking about U.S. lead list. Is that what you mean?
Let's go all the way back here. Let's go back when you first, because you started real estate first, right?
Yeah, yeah, I did. Yep.
Okay, let's go back with real estate.
Yeah, real estate. Yeah, no, I had no team. I was just grinding. I had nothing, man. I have a big family myself, but I'm from one of seven. My dad was a truck driver. Like we had nothing. We were as poor can be. We were happy, but we didn't have money. And and for me, that was always just kind of a pivotal way, or I guess a way that I was encouraged as a child, like how can I get what I want? Because it wasn't just given to me. And so that was very much instilled not by anyone in particular, but mostly myself. And so then, I start hanging out with, not necessarily you yet, but people like you who are
Yeah,
doing things. They're taking big actions. They're not doing what everyone else is to get, better results.
yeah.
And so I worked in restaurants for, gosh, decades. Um, I always had some kind of side hustle. Man, dude, I had done so many things. I had a sawmill. I raised heritage pigs.
Wow.
I've done, construction. I had an overhead garage door business. Yeah, I've done a lot of different things. But in 2015, and for a long time, real estate was a focus of mine. I just couldn't afford it. And so I did the hard, good work that no one likes to talk about, and I just started, sacrificing daily pleasures to put money aside, um, which was hard. Like I had kids when I was really young. I had three kids by the time I was 25.
Woo.
Uh, and so, you know, skimping with three kids, I didn't have a college degree. I didn't have anything. I was just like doing the W-2 trying to make everything work. So I was putting stuff by, living super frugally, and I figured out a way to buy my first rental in 2015. Yeah, the numbers on this are so silly. So it was a 4 unit. It was maybe like 20 minutes from where I live. 4 unit. It grossed, I think, like $1,900 a month, and I bought it for 52,000. Good deal on market MLS. Like those are different days.
Yeah.
Uh, so I picked that up, became a landlord, and then a month later, same agent, different property. I bought a 5 unit, and the guy and the bank, they were super flexible in their terms. They basically let me roll up the instant equity I had on the one building to buy a 5 unit. And so basically within a month's time, I went from 0 units to nine. And uh, for a while, for years, I just managed those myself. You know, rolled all the profits at any money that it had brought in. I just made improvements to the properties, made them nice, kept on raising rents, and actually I sold those two buildings to buy U.S. lead list. Um,
Wow.
so that ended up being the seed money, and U.S. Leadless was already an operating business. They'd been around since '06, and so the two owners, they were just looking to retire. They were in their 70s, and yeah, I picked it up basically right in the like the heat of COVID, um, and yeah, that's there's a lot to fill in there, but that's kind of that's most of my origin story in real estate.
That's that man, you have such an inspiring story. You really do, going from broke, having hard times, switching up different business ventures. That's hard in itself. Just, on yourself, mentally, going from one thing to the other, feeling like you're failing, and now, you're doing pretty well, man. Real estate's doing good. You have a team. Now you got US leads list. So, as far as U.S. leads list goes, let's dig a little bit deeper. I know, it's inherited properties, probate, things like that. What made is this like what you were going after real estate wise? Like, were you going after these type of leads before you purchased U.S. leads list?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did. So, from 2015 on, I bought the business in 2020. I just did whatever I could. I was still working a W-2, still had my kids. I had a lot of time constraints, but I'd probably do maybe 4 to 5 deals a year.
Yeah,
I think I did a couple probate deals in there, but it wasn't specifically my focus. It wasn't like, I'm gonna niche down on this very tiny little thing. Um, I do whatever. I mean, I Craigslist. I was on every single day. I was on Craigslist. It's like 99% of the time you don't see anything, but then that one day you're the first person who reaches out to this guy who's got some asset that is totally undervalued, makes all that time of perusing worth it. And so I do deals like that. I bought a foreclosure. Yeah, it was just random. I was just like kind of feeling around in the dark, trying to figure out what works.
yeah. I love buying an inherited house. Those are my favorite. A lot of people message me asking me questions about it because I share a lot about US leads list. I share a lot about the deals that I'm doing. And the biggest thing that I hear is, oh, well, I started working these lists and I'm not having any luck. And I tell people like these leads take time. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, uh, everyone, you know, I meet with any client that we bring on, I meet with them, and one of the first things that people try and dig into is they're like, well, what are the metrics? What's my cost per contract? What's my close rate? And I'm just like if that's how you're tracking this list, I don't know if it's for you. And,
Yeah,
and that, I'm not trying to be rude or disingenuous. I'm just trying to be honest because for me, my biggest deals, like I'll send them 3, 4 letters. They'll call me a year after I'm done, send them letters, and then we'll sit and negotiate. I'm not in any rush. I'm just trying to learn. Basically, I learn about the playing field. They're dealing with logistics, usually family matters, emotions, all these things, and I just turn them into my friend as fast as possible.
yeah,
I help these people consider, or not consider, but realize that like I can be trusted. I can advise on a lot of different things in real estate, and I absolutely am 100% for the person in their situation. And I do that by being a really good listener. And
yeah,
that's one of the biggest things that I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to get across to everyone in our space. Like, I don't know how to that is the one that the single most leverageable skill that we can do is create friends with the people who we're trying to do business with.
Yeah.
Because, people do business with friends. Like
Yeah.
there, if you can come across in an emotional way and carry this person, uh, that's something that 99.9% of the people aren't willing to do because they're so focused on what's next, what's the next deal. Well, I got to meet my metrics. What's my, all those
Yeah.
things. It's like, man, like you can do more if you take a little bit more time.
Yeah.
And that's what I've found is that relationships matter. And if you put the person first, you're going to end up making more money. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, even right now, like we've got a development deal. It's a house on 90 acres. Really, close. It's close to like the largest employer in Dane County where I live.
Nice.
And this guy needs to sell. He wants to sell, like, but we're just basically trying to feel him out. Like, okay, what's the best play here? What's
Yeah.
the best way that we can help? And if you rush in and you're like, hey, I'll give you 50 cents on the dollar for this, like you can't win doing that because you're gonna
Right.
break the opportunity before you have a chance to actually make an opportunity.
Yeah.
And for us, it's like it's just slow. It's baby steps, trying to hear the person, and eventually they come to a realization of like, well, either I can work with this person in an off-market scenario. This person, Micah, who I like, know, and trust now because he's been with me for months. He listens to me every time. Every time I have a question, he answers my questions. Um, and then all of a sudden, they're not. I'm not negotiating with them. They're negotiating with themselves. And
Yeah.
I say is like, well, hey, seller, how am I supposed to make this happen? Like, I really like you, but this is a business for me, and
Yeah.
I can't make a sound business decision at this point. And when you respond to someone like that with a scenario and they trust you, they like you, all of a sudden they're like, well, what if we did seller financing? Would that be an option? You're like, yeah, that might help us. Or, what if, you guys actually did close quick and I could drop the price another 150,000. Like if I need to go right now, could you do that? And those conversations happen after like, really good rapport is built.
Yeah.
So that was a long-winded answer. I'm sorry that got away from me, but that's for me how I run my business and how I like to do business because at the end of the day, like I want to feel good. I want to sleep good. I don't want to feel like I'm stealing something from someone. Like I want to genuinely help them. And part of that is like having people decide that they want to help themselves.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, man. That was a perfect answer to that question, man. Perfect. I found that too, you definitely want to qualify someone, right? But the first thing
Absolutely.
I'm looking for is a friendly conversation. Am I able to talk with this person and have a good quality conversation? Are they rude? Because, we spend a lot of time with people who are rude and who are never going to do business with us, right? So the quicker you can just cut those people out of the way, in my opinion, the better off you're going to be. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So as far as U.S. leads list goes, before you reach somebody, how many times in your business are you, sending a letter or reaching out? You mentioned 4 times earlier. Are you mailing more than that, or is that pretty much your magic number?
No, it's not. I mean, so how I work it is like our since I bought the business, I've been basically working the same list. So
Yeah.
how I disqualify people is, if they ask not to be called, not to be mailed to, we remove them. And then before we mail, every time we scrub it for anything that's active on the MLS. Has it been sold? All those things. So we scrub it based on that. And I used to only mail 4 times. But as I've continued down this path more, like for me, like this person's scenario isn't going to change. They're not
Yeah.
getting any younger. The property is going to change hands eventually. And so for me, like I do a sequence of letters to start, but then after that, I just transition to postcards, and I just keep them in my follow up. We do have a third party we cold call and work them through that several times, and like I just kind of keep that going. I don't, I'll hit them for a little bit. I'll give it a break, and then we come back after a couple months, and I just kind of keep on working it, keep on recycling the list.
Yeah, me too. And I do exactly what you do. We're mailing, but of course, we're calling that list too. And I recommend everybody to do that. If you're only mailing, you are missing out on people,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
true.
Um, so what do you feel like works the best, man? Like, I know I don't really like letters. Like, I don't like the estate letters, and it's very, very personal in my opinion. My partner, David, he's done that for years, and it just leads to a lot of people calling you and going off on you, I feel. I don't know
Other
why.
bits.
Um, do you like, just being more, because I'm sure you're approaching it kind of like I am. Like, I never mention the words probate or people passing away. It's just, hey, I'm calling or reaching out about this property, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's right. So my initial touch, it's super bland, and I think I stole it from you, honestly. Like I don't even tell them I want to buy the property. I just say, hey, I have a question about your property.
Yep.
So that's what I mail to folks first, and what that does to my response rate is like just blows it up. I'm at well over 10% in my area when I send that real vague letter. Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people kind of complain at me and they're like, well, not everyone wants to, sell their property on it. It's like, that's fine. Like, I don't care. Like, I want the people who are maybe going to sell their property, but I don't give them a chance to decide until I'm on the phone, I'm
Yeah.
talking with them, and they've got like a live human who cares on the other side, and they have to be like, well, maybe I'll sell. And there's no good way to quantify that opportunity there, but I know for sure I convert leads and keep people in my follow-up longer because we're the way that we handle those conversations.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's how I start, and then from there I get a lot more direct. I want to buy your house. A couple different variations of that, and then the postcard we send out. It's just a bland kind of postcard, but um, when you're marketing to the lists via direct mail, first class is super important. If it actually is a probate situation, you need to have first class because you want to have that letter forwarded on to, whoever is managing that estate. Um, but yeah, so as far as the probate letter itself goes, I don't send anything like that.
Okay.
What I will say though is that I've got several clients who like that's all they send. Like that's the only letter they send.
Yeah.
And one of them is this guy. He's hilarious. He's from New Jersey, and recently, like I think a couple years ago, he moved down to North Carolina.
Mm.
And so he sent in this letter, basically, hey, I'm so sorry for the death. I know this is a sensitive time, but I want to help you buy your property if you want to. And so he's describing this whole thing to me. I'm like, bro, like, don't you get so much hate for that? He's like, it's like, man, you wouldn't look back in Jersey. These people are angry. In North Carolina, they are so nice. They tell politely to, F off. And like
Yeah.
he's so, but thick skin, I guess it's different. But it certainly does cause a lot of anger, frustration, and hardship when you're kind of pressing directly. And no one likes to feel targeted.
Yeah.
But all good marketing is targeted, right?
Yeah.
You're always trying to concentrate who you're talking to. Um, but this guy, like, he crushes it. Like, last year I think he did over 200K with our list by just sending that letter. And so, everyone's got a different cadence cycle. Like, I don't like to get yelled at. I like to, you know, as you can tell, I'm sure as I've been talking, like I want people to feel like my friend. Like that's the business I want to create. That's not everyone's business. So, um, I would not necessarily encourage you to send that probate letter because you will get a lot of hate, but yeah, empirical evidence says it works.
Yeah.
And two, like any marketing, like if you do something enough, it's going to work. It's just like how well, and then can you
Yeah.
level up and make it better?
Yeah. And yeah, no matter what you do, you're still going to get people who reach back out to you too, and they're just so mean and rude that you're just like, goodness, what am I doing?
Yep.
Um, but yeah, man. So, I know with US Leads List is it's available, but after so many people in a area, you're no longer giving that list out. So could you talk about that more and how people can reach out to you just to see if their area is available?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So we sell each list 3 times in any given county. So at a certain point, it's saturated. We have a waiting list you can get on, but we just don't sell it.
Yeah.
And So, that's how that works. Probably the best way to get a hold of me. Um, I could drop my email, but I really it's just go on the site and say, you heard about us through Travis,
Yeah.
and we can reach out from there. Like you can go on the site and it's kind of interactive map. You can click on the areas you're interested and see if it's available. Um, but I'm totally happy to hop on conversations. I love talking about real estate. This is, I'm not just the CEO of US Lead List. Like I use this list to do deals in
Yeah.
my area. And so that for me is the most exciting part of my business is, kind of working the fruit. Data is fun, but it's not the most exciting thing in the world.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like US Leads List is more for an experienced investor, or do you think new wholesalers and investors it could work for them as well?
I think both directions. New investors, what a lot of times what happens is like they just don't have some of the foundational skills that you need to.
Yeah.
It's not just wholesaling or real estate. It's like any business. It's like, well, how's your candor on the phone? Like, what's your sales skills like? What are your processes? Do you have follow-ups? Like all of those things, which is where the real money is. Um, a lot of times it's just not developed yet. So if you have those things, or if you're, can learn quickly and implement stuff, or you've got a good mentor that has, something that can kind of, you can plug yourself into. Absolutely. I had a couple of guys, they bought our list within 2 months, and literally never done real estate. This is the first list that they ever bought. They, they walked with 50K of profit, within 2 months from using our list. So it absolutely works. But you need to have the right direction. You got to have a kind of a guiding light in that. Um, but that said, I would say most of the people who come in and use our service, they're more experienced. They know what they want. They have a marketing budget, and they press into this because it does take time, patience, and effort. And the follow up's where the money's at. Everyone says it, but man, it's so true.
Yeah, man. I think that so I've been using you guys for almost a year, I believe, something like that. And I have a appointment today that I'm going on, and I've been following up with this lady for the last like 6 months.
Dang.
And she's already had a realtor come look, tell her what she needed to do. She's done all, did all, I'm the last part of the process. You know what I mean? So I love the list. I'm going to put the US Leads List link in the description so, anybody can go to it. And I would suggest to go to you and to at least have a conversation because I used to go down to the courthouse because my locally here in West Virginia, I couldn't do it online. I had to go to the courthouse. And I did this forever, man. And I just started, even after I started using you, I still was going to compare things. And I don't go anymore. It just makes it a lot easier just to, go through you guys. I can't complain at all, so definitely if you're watching this and you're interested in, inherited probate type of properties, you need to click the link in the description and call Micah because it's worth it. It is, you just got to understand that the list isn't the magic. You are the magic within that list, and you have to know, like he said, you got to know frameworks, you got to know how to talk to people. If you're just getting started and you have no sales experience and you have not invested in sales, then it might not be for you. But eventually, you want to contact these guys. But yeah, man, we're running out of time, but is there anything else you would like to mention before we hop off here? Anything you want to leave people with?
No, I think, for me, um, I guess I just got a heart for those people who are like, they're scraping at the bottom of the barrel. They got nothing. They're trying to just kind of eke through to the next day. Um, you know, Fruit comes and you can't always see the blossoms. You can't always see the fruit developing until all of a sudden it's in your hand. And yeah, anyone who's listening, I just want you to stay encouraged, keep planting those seeds. You'll get the fruit. You just got to fail, because that's where the real lessons come from, that you can make those pivotal turns in your life and kind of cascade into something entirely new and be in places that you never thought were possible.
Oh man, that's the perfect way to leave it, man. That was great. I appreciate you, man. You're always bringing me value and bringing us value, and I hope to keep this going for a while. So I'd like to have you back on, just every so often, just to come on and talk about your business and give updates, because I'm sure you're going to grow, your companies are going to grow, and I'd like to see it. I want to be a part of it, man.
Absolutely. I'll take time for you. You're one of my favorite guys in the industry, bro. So
No,
I
don't
appreciate
make
you
me
having
blush, man.
me on.
It's really cold here, so my cheeks are probably already red, It's like it was 9 degrees this morning and I
Oh,
can't
dang.
take this. Yeah, it's crazy. But
Yeah.
all right, bro, I appreciate you. Thanks for your time and hope you have a good day.
Yeah, same to you.